Here's a little interesting, what I thought was a bulb I found whilst we were clearing out one of the buildings last week. I saved a couple of these because I thought, oh, these would be useful for some of the backlights. Some of the Echo radios use these large sort of like nightlight bulbs. I thought, oh, that'll be fine, you know, maybe it's a 240 volt bulb and I can use that as a backlight. And they're only small and Edison screw fitting, so I thought this will be I'll store these and chuck these in the junk cupboard sort of thing, and they'd be useful. So I brought them home today and I thought, well, I'll just check to make sure they're actually sort of 240 volt, or maybe, you know, make sure they're not 115 volt or too high wattage or anything. And I was rather surprised to find that when I magnify in, I don't know if you can see that there on the top. Move in a bit so you can see. It says 100 ohms, and it's got no voltage on it and no wattage on it. So it looks to me like, even though this looks like a bulb, it's not a bulb. It certainly looks to me like a bulb. It's got a filament. You can see the filament inside there. But there's no voltage rating, and I haven't applied any voltage to it. I haven't done anything. All I have done is actually measure its resistance, and at sort of ambient temperature, this sort of temperature in here, about 20 degrees, it's about 75 ohms, and I will just demonstrate that now. I'll connect it up to the Fluke, and we'll just do a quick measurement on the resistance. Now, alright, you're thinking, well, where am I going with this video? What I want to know is, what the hell is this thing? Do you think this is like an early form of sort of like current limiting device, maybe used for you know, similar to a dim bulb? You know, they use these to put them in line of the circuitry to protect the circuitry from overload, and this was the rough resistance. It probably I don't know, 100 ohm resistance when it was at 40 degrees or something like that, because it's certainly not 100 degrees at 20 degrees, 100 ohms at 20 degrees. So let me just show you the resistance across it. I'm just going to put the probe across it now, and you'll see on the Fluke once I get the connections on. So let's have a look. So that's across the bulb now, and you see it's about 71 ohms. Now if I hold my hand across it, you'll see, so I get it all into frame at once, that the meter will start to climb. So I warm the surrounding gas up, or surrounding glass up, the temperature rises. Now I would have thought if that was in a vacuum, I wouldn't affect the resistance at all, but there's clearly the resistance is changing when I'm warming it up. So I want to know what this is. I don't know if anyone out there knows what this is. It probably is a bulb. We could apply a bit of voltage to it, I suppose, and see what happens. Or I could apply a very low voltage to it just to make sure I don't blow it, because it might even be sort of like a 12 volt bulb. But the strange thing is, why would you put a resistance on the top of it? You know, because I mean, bulbs, yeah, they are a resistor to a degree, but it really depends on how much current you're passing through them. If you measure a bulb with a sort of like a digital meter, high impedance meter, you probably get 0 ohms. But if you measure it with something like an AVO, you probably get a couple of ohms if it's like a 30 or 40 watt bulb, because obviously the slightest amount of current will actually heat the element and reduce the resistance. Okay, so I'm connected up to the power supply, and I'm going to apply a little bit of voltage. Now I don't want to burn this out if it is actually a resistor. Well, that's applying 30 volts. Oh, it's just starting to light up. There you see. So it does actually look to me like this probably is actually a bulb, but why it's got a resistance reading on it, I have no idea. That's about 30 volts, and you can see the filament's just glowing very gently there. Now, it might have been used, as I say, as a sort of like an oscillator device. My HP 675A, which is the sweep generator to my right when I'm working on the bench, has a bulb like this for the 400 cycle oscillator, and it's quite critical that the bulb is the right wattage to make the oscillator run at 400 Hertz. So I'm wondering if it's something to do with that. I'll show you one inside. Just a traditional screw-in fit bulb, and that's about it really. Let me just give you a zoom in again so we can get some more information on this. I don't think you can see anything else, but it's just, yeah, GEC, made in GEC. Can't really make out what that is. And is that 44 watts? It looks like a 44. So it doesn't look like a W to me, but it's got something like that. Made in England, obviously. Was that Preston? Oh, there you go. Resistor. It actually says it there. Resistor. Resistor bulb. Is that bulb? What's it say? I've got another one of these at work. I wonder if it's got the letterings are slightly better. Anyway, so there's your quiz for this evening. If anyone knows what they think this is or what it would have been used for, put it on the comments below. Thank you.